In this video, we're going to look at our quadratic application problem. So this is 24. The first one, we have a rectangular room is 3 feet longer than it is wide. If the diagonal of the room is 15 feet, find the dimensions of the room. All right, so let's draw a rectangle. All right, so we've got the width here, and we know that the length, we know it's 3 feet longer than the width. So we could think of this as W plus 3. Now a rectangle is supposed to have a 90-degree angle, maybe not when I draw it. And then we have our diagonal coming across the middle, and we're told that this is 15. So what we have here is a right triangle, and you may remember from geometry, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So c has to be the long side, which in this case is the diagonal. So c is 15. And then A and B are going to be the two shorter sides. So I'll call that A and I'll call that B. So that's going to give me W squared plus W plus 3 squared equals 15 squared. So I've got my equation. It takes a little bit to clean this up. Remember, W plus 3 squared, you can't just square the W and square the 3. You do have to FOIL it out. All right, and then 15 squared is 225. All right, so if I FOIL this, I get W squared. The outside and inside both give me 3W. So I can go ahead and put those together to be 6W, and then 3 times 3 is 9. So I get 2W squared plus 6W plus 9 equals 225. Now remember, we're trying to solve a quadratic, so we want it equal to 0. So I'm going to minus 225 to both sides. And I get 2W squared plus 6W minus 216 equals 0. Now we have to pick a method to solve it. You could do quadratic formula. The numbers are really big. I'm going to try factoring. All right, so that makes it look a little bit better. I'm still not real sure of numbers that make 108, so you can just kind of start grabbing your calculator and start working this out. So let's see, that would be 54. I'm looking for a sum or difference of 3. So I'm just grabbing a calculator and I'm just going through my numbers. It's 3 times 36. Let's see if it's divisible by 4. 4 times 27. It's not divisible by 5. It is 6 times 18. I'm getting closer. It's not divisible by 7. It's not divisible by 8. And then I get 9 times 12. Now that looks promising. So if I do a 9 and a 12, if I make the 12 positive and the 9 negative, that'll give me the 3 in the middle. All right, so I set each part equal to 0. Two equals 0 doesn't give me a solution. I get W equals 9 and W equals negative 12. Now this is a word problem. It doesn't make any sense to have a negative width, so I'm just looking at the positive answer. So my width is going to be 9 feet. I'm also asked to find the length. So remember, it's going to be 3 more than the width. So 9 plus 3 gives me 12. So then I have the dimensions of my rectangle. All right, now part B is a little bit easier because they give us the equation. It's kind of split up on 2 lines, so let me rewrite it here. So we don't have to come up with the equation like we did in part A. All right, so h is height and t is going to be time in seconds. So we want to know how many seconds, so we're looking for t, will it take for the rock to hit the ground? Well, if it hits the ground, that means the height is 0. So I'm going to take h and I'm going to replace it with a 0. All right, so this gives me a quadratic to solve. What I'm noticing is I have a squared term, but I don't have a t by itself. So I'm going to use square root method. So my goal is to isolate t squared. So to do that, I'm going to add 16t squared to both sides. kind of want to make that positive. So I get 16t squared equals 256. I'm still trying to isolate t squared, so I divide both sides by 16. And I get t squared equals 16. All right, so I'm using square root method. I'm ready for my square root. I do that on both sides. I get a plus or minus. And I get t equals plus or minus 4. So I have a positive 4 seconds and a negative 4 seconds. So a negative time doesn't make any doesn't make any sense. I can't have a negative time. So I'm going to keep the positive value, and my answer will be 4 seconds.